Hello, everybody, and welcome to Star Wars Legends of the Sprawl at Chaotic Neutral Games. I'm Simon, your DM for tonight, as we join Corinne, Felicia, Rodrigo, and Ed, nearly got there, with their adventures at the fringe of Imperial space. I did say Felicia. Don't forget that you can help or indeed hinder by using your channel points in the game. Check out your options in the chat bar below. You can also join the chaos by clicking the Discord link below, or support us by becoming a subscriber. So let's rejoin their players for their continuing mission, Star Trails, as we go back a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our players.
Hello.
Hello.
I've just realised I haven't actually got the chat up. There we go. Always. So, we are back.
Oh, yes, we got Hermit.
Hello, Hermit.
Who never misses our stream.
I know, you're starting to become Corinne's favourite here. Bear in mind, Scornfuse has made a serious play for that title, but defending your title there, Hermit. We are back playing Star Wars. So we have had a load of misadventure in space. Paul has headed off doing the daddy thing. We've been joined by Rodrigo for the last part of the campaign, playing Grim, the space huckster, I guess.
Space Bastard.
Yeah, Space Bastard.
That's how I would describe it.
That was actually a game, by the way, Space Bastards.
I know.
Yeah. Man, I just had a flashback for the... God, that was...
Anyways.
90s. Anyway, so...
And we shall not think about anything that's happening currently.
No,
and I shall put
no.
away my phone and not look at any news.
No doom
deleted Twitter
scrolling
for
is
that.
allowed. Yeah, throw your phone out the window. No good will come of this.
I
Only
uninstalled Twitter
politics
for that
in
exact
Star
reason.
Wars.
Yeah.
No politics in Star Wars. There's only pew pew and chow chow and zoom zoom.
Oh god.
Arguably, I'd prefer fucking Palpatine.
I've been reading Clone Wars books. Like,
Yeah.
I am well in it.
I mean, fantasy politics is fine. That's fine.
Anyway, so we finished off last session with you guys having a bit of a space battle against the capital ship. You basically showed how a nimble ship that has a playoff between size and speed. A silhouette, what are you? Silhouette
Silhouette 4.
4, I think you are?
Yes, Silhouette 4.
Lakota, yes, Silhouette 4. Silhouette 4 ship, and how you can decide where your which hemisphere of your ship gets hit compared to larger ships. Larger ships, you can choose which shield you're hitting, and if you have multiple ships, you can kind of do pincer movements and things like that as well. This system is actually incredibly good with Theater of the Mind, or tabletop, as it turns out. You can make a star field with concentric circles with was it close, short, medium, long, or if you're going to have a large battle, you can have multiple ones of those on a table.
No.
And you can do all sorts of pincering and stuff.
Simon,
Is this game going to make me buy X-Wing miniatures now?
Yes,
Dude,
it will.
I was nearly there. Remember, we started this game around my dining table. Yeah, I was there, kind of like, well, let's see which ship they can do. And then I saw X-Wing miniatures, and I was like, well, that's me fucked then, isn't it? Because I want those now.
And then Armada.
Yeah,
I guess Armada.
too.
Oh, there's a lot out there. I mean, fair play to them. They've got the merchandise out there, and some of it now, the game has died, so it's really cheap to get them.
I nearly bought some Legion minis
It's still
for
fuck up
JT.
expensive for me because of shipping, so no thank you.
I mean, like, you can probably get, like, because
once you're in Australia, it will be a lot easier.
Yeah, and if
To,
you do, I don't know
consume
how
your
easy you can
hobbies.
get Lego, because you can use Lego for the thing.
Oh yeah, we saw this in Dragon Meat. We saw a full table with Star Wars Lego. They even had an Ewok in an Ewok glider, which would make me go, "Oh shit! I've just got another life goal." They had a Lego AT-AT and everything, and apparently that works perfectly.
Like a
with this.
fully
We should take
3D
Simon to real
table.
Legoland sometime, Corinne.
Yes, like real Legoland, not like the fake England one, like the real Legoland in
The
Denmark.
real Legoland in
Real
Denmark.
In Denmark, not the shitty little one they call Legoland. Where is it? Leeds?
It's not in Leeds, it's in Windsor. Legoland Windsor.
I lost.
All I heard
Track of
was
the conversation.
shitty little place. That is not real Legoland.
You,
so yeah, I
you
mean,
tell the Queen that Windsor is a shitty little place.
I would.
Yeah, you
I mean,
I am not
it's-
afraid
It's
of
attached
pissing
to
off a
London.
queen.
I mean, it's got the world's biggest arse wart. Let's face it. But anyway,
Yes, the
The-
organization go back to Lego because Lego is great.
but yeah, so yes,
Lego
you
is
can do
fantastic.
Lego. You could use Star Wars minis. You can do lots of different things like that. So so this is actually quite rewarding on tabletop as well, full on tabletop. We did actually find out as well. You can go on Tabletop Simulator, and they have the kind of grey, uncolored 3D models that are in there as well. But that's not as good. I mean, let's face it. If you're going to be doing it on the table, you need to paint that shit, or use Lego because Lego. So yeah. But we know how expensive Star Wars Lego is. We live vicariously through Ed. In terms of how much was that, Ed? Was it 3 figures that we bought that toy for, Ed? Okay, right, sure.
This has just turned into let's just publicly roast Ed the stream.
No, we're not roasting him.
We would do
We
the
are
same.
we are expressing our envy of him being able
This
to
is
buy
true.
all of
The
this
public
Lego.
execution of
Yeah,
Ed.
I am salty as fuck with some of the stuff he's got. I'm just he showed
same.
me Slave 1. I was just kind of like, well, fuck.
I spend money on nothing else, I'll be honest. Like, barely any food expenses. It's just
Yeah.
all Lego and raw.
You're
things.
professional, single, and live alone. You have expendable
Yeah.
cash. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah,
So-
I'm
Yes.
impressed that you're able to live in a 2-room apartment in Oxfordshire.
It's a beautiful apartment. What are you on about? I want his apartment.
Yeah, well,
If he
I'm
moves
just
out,
impressed.
I'm moving in.
I got lucky. I got super lucky with this
Anyways,
place.
as the token broke Salvadorian in the room, I say we move on.
As the
Sorry.
broke student in the room, let's move
Well,
on.
say 3 out of 5 of us are broke. So yeah. Anyway, you guys attacked a capital ship, and the capital ship, because it was part of an armada, and I didn't want to go through every single piece of the armada battle. I just gave you your part to do, and you did it with your usual style, grace, dumb luck, and overpowered characters. So, you managed to invade yet another capital ship, get in there, and take it over with a small army of Valashar. So, as a reminder to anybody who either has been watching it or whatever, the Valashar are a race that we have put in there. It's basically space Vikings. They're just a subsect of humans. Felicia came up with the first one that came in, which was Victoria. And then when she started describing the Valashar, it was pretty much the same way as we did with Atul Zaran in The Benefactor. And that is, she started telling me stuff, and I started fitting the DM part on to it as well. And that's where we're going today. The battle is over. After the Valashar managed to jump into the umbilicus and onto the bridge, it was a shit shoot. The Unga, the head of the strike force that joined you, took a Lambda-class shuttle, whereas you...
Yes, Six,
took a
Space Viking.
cloak
You can
shape.
see her on screen. My lovely Victoria.
Oh, hello,
Hurry up,
Insects.
pull up the big picture.
Oh yeah, yes, I have her. Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I will show her entire, and you can post a picture in chat, Felicia, if you want to.
I'm working on it.
Yes.
Simon,
Incidentally,
can you
Six, how are
explain?
you with mechanical drawings? So anyway, the...
Yes, hi Six. Welcome. We're really nice to see you here again.
So I think it was a cloak shape that you got, Rodrigo, wasn't it? A cloak shaped fighter?
Yeah.
38,000 credits worth of fightercraft, and it's completely...
Still fighter.
Yeah, it's completely clean. I mean, it's looks like it's straight off the assembly line. So, nice.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty clean. Of course, because it isn't literally straight off the line, you won't get 38,000 for it, but you can get close to it. So if you wanted to grab extra funds, I mean, that's a drop in the ocean compared to the score that these guys have racked up. Largely with a bit of Deus Ex Machina put in there. But the...
We had fun in a casino, okay?
yeah, because I wanted to springboard them because I didn't want this campaign going on forever. So we got to
Also,
try-
we found like lots of space cocaine and sold that. That was the majority of
That's
our
the other
funds.
thing as well. Yeah, you got hold of spice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Do not question our means. Only envy our wealth.
Yeah, so
thankfully,
we sold
a
bunch of
cloak
space
shape,
cocaine.
a cloak shape fighter will go just about into your largest cargo bay. So you can either fly it yourself, Grim, or you can put it in the cargo bay, which will, as I say, fill it up, or you can tether it. So you can tether it to the
put it in the
Lakota, and the
cargo bay.
Lakota will pull it through hyperspace. It's not the end of the world.
I'll put
Will
it in
it?
the cargo bay.
Because we've got
If I
the
can.
V25 and the swoop as well.
Oh, actually, no, it won't fit inside. You'll have to tether it to the
Okay,
outside.
cool. So tether.
Yeah.
Yeah, tether.
Yeah, I forgot that you had you brought your speeder with you and the swoop.
Yes.
Okay,
Never know when you need a speeder and a swoop.
exactly. Yeah. The one good thing about the cloak shape, by the way, is that it doesn't struggle because it's effectively a patrol boat. It doesn't struggle in atmosphere, so it works pretty well as a plane. And it's small enough at Silhouette 3 to be able to dart in and out of things, whereas you can't kind of thread the needle between two buildings with the Lakota. It's just too big. But again, the Lakota's a fucking stealth gunship, so...
Yeah.
So you guys have just finished the battle. The capital ship is currently being looted like fucking crazy. I'm going to do a quick roll for each of you to find some things that to see some things that you found and add them to your gear list. Genesis is a very gear system. So things that you found. First of all, from my one prat table, give me a roll 2d6, Felicia.
2d6. Let's see.
Yeah, you
here.
use physical dice if you need to.
roller.
Yeah,
6.
or I can do it for you.
No, I got it.
I still have my D&D dice from the other day. Stuff
Oh.
my daughter gave me.
Oh
I got
yeah,
my-
you rolled them on the on the thing there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fairly robust dice roll, this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so a 4 and a 3. 4, 3. So Felicia, you have managed to find a really good glow rod. Glow rod is magnetic. You can, and as in, it's like rare earth magnets on the either side. Throw it against a bulkhead, and it just straight against it. And it's a rechargeable glow rod as well, so it's not a snapping one. It's just boom, and you can, and it lights up a fairly sized room, like a medium-sized room.
Yep, yeah, exactly what Hermit said there. The baddest Viking queen's tiny space magic wife.
Rodrigo, 2d6. Please.
Yes. Yeet, give me a moment.
So if you want to do it on the roller, turn the 100 to a 6 and then just click up to 2.
Yeet. Okay.
3 and
3 and
3.
3. Doubles.
So 3 and 3, you have found a quick action utility belt.
Sick.
This utility belt is mastercrafted. Artisans have managed to make it so that all the pockets are in the right orientation and stuff. You can access any non-weapon item as an incidental. So it doesn't require any of your actions to take it. It doesn't have any holsters, so no weapons can be put in there. But you could, for example, put a grenade in there.
All right.
Because that's just a round object.
Or a stim pack, I assume.
Stim packs, yeah, you can pull out those as incidentals.
Cool.
Ed, give me 2d6.
Yes, sir. 4 and 1.
4 1. You have found a strange-looking comlink that, as you're looking at it and trying to interface with its circuitry, you realize that it has some slicing potential. This, you think, is a snooper, that it gives you 3 boost dice if you're trying to slice into, specifically, another comlink. So if you see somebody on a comlink, you can use the snooper to try and slice in and hear what they're saying.
With all of my 1 intellect.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But you
might want to go
could,
to
for
X4.
example, fit it into X4.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
And and then you can roll it if you want. That's fine. And he is just a roll cab that walks around and talks.
Wait, beeps.
Okay.
Beeps. He makes these noises.
Yeah. Corinne, give me 2d6.
Yes, I'm just making the stream do noises. There we go. 2 1.
2 and 1. 2 and 1. You have found what is a strange single launching device that seems to throw out cuffs like a bolas. It's a binder, but it's a binder that you can use at short distance, and you can just. It requires ranged light to fire it. It doesn't do any damage, but it does give the effect of being bound up with binders.
Cool. That could be very useful, actually. So
You can't load any binder into it, it's only the one, so if you lose the binder or the person who is bound up, it's useless. But you can undo the binder from the person, pack it back up, and put it back in the device.
cool. It's a one shot. So if I miss, I miss, and I have to collect the binder. But
You have to collect the binder before you use it again. Yeah.
I might.
And if
give
you
it...
bind somebody's arms, you have to choose if you're doing arms or legs, because it only binds up one. But if you, for example, bind up the arms and they run into a ship and fuck off, it's useless. Because
I
you will find that
might give it to the one with monster agility, but
So the other things that you get, going back to the roll, so 4, 3. Oh, Jesus. Felicia, you have a incendiary grenade.
oh dear. At least it's not thermal detonator.
No, it's just an incendiary grenade.
Grim,
Grim, you have a ion grenade. Please note it down in your.
Hi, Snipe.
JT, you have a.
Pew.
Oh god, a one-shot missile launcher.
Fun.
Just literally a disposable. And that should be as the core book. Let me just check.
It's a price tool that will help us later on in the story.
Probably.
If I can carry it. Actually, I've got 6 encumbrance spare. I think I can carry it.
I don't even know how encumbrance works, so I haven't been keeping
As long as you're carrying the amount of ridiculous gear that Ed is doing, then you're
I'm being
fine.
careful because I've got a lot of stuff, so
Yeah,
I
he
don't
has
want to
got
like
a lot.
overdo
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have 5 to spare because I'm carrying some extra stuff too. But that also, you know.
If it's core book, I'm going to run and get mine quick.
No, it's not. It's not core book. It'll be one of the other books actually. Oh no, Missile Tube.
Like,
Here we go.
he's
It is
already
Missile
gone,
Tube.
Simon.
Oh,
Yeah, it is core book. That's fine.
yeah. He's got the core book.
Any more RPG books?
The
Yeah,
Star
it's,
Wars one is
Missile
actually
Tube,
really
page
nice to
160.
just like read in.
I opened it on the right page.
Nice.
Ooh.
It
Okay,
was
amazing.
meant
It's almost
to
like the
be.
gun nut droid has been there before.
Stony Pros. Stony
And
It's also the page of
Nima,
that's next
2
one.
and 1. Okay, you have managed to find a sniper blaster rifle.
Me.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's a blaster rifle that is the same as again page 160. It says blaster rifle. On
You
there,
have our
but
book, Simon. I can't look at the
as it should be. I'll give you the details in the break. But yes, it said it's nowhere near as good as JT's rig, but could be useful. It's good at long range. It's got a cool sight on it.
What type
Oh.
of ability does that use?
Uses ranged heavy,
Mm.
so she might not be that great at it.
Yeah,
No,
that
it's
was what
another-
I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not
I
done
can
that, what
whack.
I say?
No, I can't even whack people with
You
that.
can just put it on the ship
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
like
No, you
whoever needs it,
cannot
whatever.
whack people with it.
We'll say
They're
it.
working on you whacking people with swords and
But-
other heavy objects, but
It's not working
it's a
right.
work in progress.
Yes, because I have one brawn.
Hey, that's
Because
one
I
more.
am a Twi'lek.
I can't believe I have one. I have more brawn than you.
Because you're human.
You're human.
Yeah.
With higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He starts with 1.
Still,
I-
two though.
I'm also human, but my brawn is up to 5.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah, so she can snap you in half like a twig, so don't piss her off.
Yeah.
JT,
should
you
No comment.
managed to
No comment.
uncover a consignment of catalysts as well. These catalysts on a bulk, probably new and to order, would probably be about 2,000 credits. How you'd be able to sell them, what condition they're in, you're not entirely sure.
Hand them over to Chevron, he'll figure it out.
But yeah, this could be used for trading potentially as well. There's also a consignment of vehicle fuel. So if you put refuel somewhere on your character sheet, Ed, basically if you roll a despair, and I say your fuel system has basically dumped, you can use that as a replacement. So that gets rid of that.
Okay.
Because vehicles can do the whole thing. So for you, Rodrigo, we don't count bullets in this, but if you get a despair, your power cell just gives it the ghost.
Okay,
Which means
no, that's
that
fair.
if you haven't packed a refill, you can't use that gun. You have to switch weapon. Yeah, and sometimes that can be, the breaking of
Very
rattles.
bad.
Vehicles can do the same thing as well. They have power. Anything with a power supply in there. If a despair comes along, one of my options are I can just say its power supply is dead. So you've got vehicle refuel. Right.
Cool.
There are people who dock to the ship. Some of them coming in and chancing their luck. The Valashar basically tell them no. Some of them are there going, no, I don't want anything on the ship. Just want to come and say thanks. So one person that walks up to you is Raicha Kal. Raicha Kal is what you can see probably a distant cousin of the Gungan. No annoying, Misa or anything like that. And he
Thank God.
walks up. You can see he's got. There's definitely like kind of ridges on the face and all the rest of it, which suggests that generationally, his genetics has changed from being away from aquatic environments. And he walks up and says, "Y'all managed to get in there quite quickly. Were you with the Valashar?" He's mostly gesturing to Nima, Grim, and JT.
Yes.
He's kind of made the assumption that Victoria was with Unger the whole time.
They're with me.
I could say that, yes.
Yes.
Valishar returning home, I see. No problem, no problem. So I'm one of the many people who have a stake in the trading post. I'm not one of the owners. I have minus shareholder, I suppose you would call it. And I run my business in and out of here. I occasionally make runs into Empire Space when it's not too spicy, you know. And business was good until these assholes showed up. But thankfully, we're not going to be suffering because of that, and that's no small part to you guys today. We lost one ship out there, and that ship was a shithole anyway. So, unfortunately, lost some good people on it. So, you know that's bad. It was just a mining vessel. It was just taking care of some of the asteroids in the system. But they came in and they fought anyway, because you know, one falls, we all
Have to.
Yeah. So no, it's good. We've always done well with the Valishar. I know that you guys are known for getting into fights and occasionally taking over systems and things, but you've always played fair with us, trading, people of your word, all of that lot. So you're good by me.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Did you come here to trade, or were you just, or was this
Passing
just
by on our way.
jump on the way through? No problem at all. If you need to resupply with anything, you can talk to me. You can talk to any of my compatriots. I'll send you the communicator codes. And
Yeti, is there anything we need?
None of the bullshit. We owe you today. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. And
Thank you very much.
we will consider that we owe a boon to the Valishar as a whole. And Unger's there like, no problem. I'll tell the speakers. Yeah. And you can see he's there. He's just laden up with stuff as he's loading up his Lambda class shuttle.
Yeah.
There is one thing we might actually need. I'm not sure how feasible this is, but hang on. And I'm going to get X4 to project a map of the space here, and particularly the uncharted area we are heading into. Do you happen to have any charts for that particular area?
Yeah, I got plenty. I can share the whole thing with you. It's just copy paste, yeah?
That'll be good.
Yeah, no problem.
And how do you know that
where you
boarding
going in that
action was my
direction?
idea?
Nice. I like it. I like a droid that you can rely on. You know, I'm good for trading. I've got my own security droid, RC63. He's good. But he's not good at space combat. You know.
Oh, we're JT's his own person.
Yeah. Yeah. So's RC63. Right hand man. Wouldn't have anything.
I'm sorry, Corinne thought he was trying to bargain for JT. I was like, no.
No, he was complimenting JT and comparing him to his right hand man.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
And he's saying, yeah, he's not very good at space combat, but I wouldn't have anybody else next to me in a firefight, you know. Had to repair him quite a few times, but you know, money is no object when it comes to making sure that you keep your friends on top of the game. Yeah. You got to survive together out here.
Indeed.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, so hang on, and he pulls out a data pad and starts to transfer the maps. Mostly, you can see it's trading maps. You can see that there's places to refuel, places, and you can see that in the notes what kind of power converters you'll need to use the fuel there. So there's isotopic fuel. There's different types of gases. Things like that. There's kind of like oil and other such stuff that you can use. And he says,
back to Toshi Station then.
He says, you're going in that direction though, yeah?
That's the vague plan.
Yeah.
Okay, well, be careful out there. We're not entirely sure who runs things in that area of space. You go to any one place, normally there's a person there who runs the show. But as I'm sure the Valashar will tell you, anybody who goes there in force will suddenly find a small armada at their doorstep. Even though it all seems to be run by representatives or governors or sheriffs or whatever, there's always a title, you know? There's one title. Most places that you go, you find that no one's at the top. No one is strong enough. No single person is strong enough to be at the top. It's like here, yeah? You know, only reason we survive is that there's lots of people at the top. There's no head to cut off, yeah?
But there it's too organized for individualist colonies.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You know, you have, as say, a representative, a governor, a chairman, whatever. There's a head to cut off in each of them, and normally, pardon me, but if the Valashar see a head, they cut it off. You know, they don't like anybody getting too big for their boots. But the Valashar themselves have said that they're well supported, and we don't know by who. We're assuming that they're doing something similar to the Black Sun, may even be the Black Sun themselves. No one's actually called themselves a Vigo, so we don't think it is Black Sun. But
they're a bit too proud to not call themselves
exactly.
that.
Normally, they tell you and then some, especially out here where there's no empire to be duplicitous to or alliance or anything. Maybe they'd want to be duplicitous to the Valashar. I'm not sure, but as I say, the Valashar have stepped off. They're holding a hard border, you know.
That's good to hear.
So
I'll have to talk to the speakers then.
They seem to have just held a hard border, so they're not losing any territory, but they're not trying to get any territory in that area either. Most of these representatives, they are aloof. Everybody who is attached to them will be very quick to tell you that they're attached to them, which means that you don't fuck with them. But beyond that, it's just it's about status. Yeah, you either have the status that you're attached to the person, or you don't. Everybody goes to them for work, for influence, for power. Yes, you want to be successful, you go to them. It's very strange. We try to make inroads. It's not happening.
Gonna send a little internal message to everyone on the crew. We may have to have a bit of a cover story, or they'll know we're coming.
Oh, no problem.
Anyway,
Do that.
just be careful. It's strange there. Good trade. If you're polite, it's a good trade. Just don't
we're
piss off
nothing-
anyone at the top.
Nothing if not exceedingly polite.
So polite.
Yeah, I saw you knocked first. He kind of gestures to the top of the ship, and he gives you a bit of a winning smile. Kind of bunches his ears back, almost like a ponytail, and kind of stretches and goes, "Right, I'm going to go and see if that Unger of yours is willing to part with any of the takings for a fair price, of course." And
Good luck.
Steps forward and starts walking in the direction of Unger.
I'm gonna kick the little box of catalysts. 2,000 credits for them.
He looks at it and goes, "At half the price, I'd buy."
What?
He says, "At half the price, I'd buy." He's offering 1,000.
I'm going to turn to our.
Negotiators.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay,
I go forward and I say, well, what about, and I do a negotiation roll, so I don't have to say stuff.
Yeah, you start saying, "Oh well, you know, we checked this stuff and it's really good," and all the rest of it. Well, actually, no, that would be deception, wouldn't it? So for you, it's just they're going, "Oh, come on, this is useful stuff," which it is. It's catalyst.
I can do that.
Yeah, this is my thing here, and And yes, influence goes in. In negotiation, yes, my force dice go in. Anything in here? If no, that's
If is red and 2 purple.
red and 2 purple.
Take a boost dice because he likes you.
Yeah. Cool.
You're giving Nima extra boost dice on the negotiation check.
Is what it is. You got it. If you got it, you can have it.
Whoa!
Oh, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I'm
So
gonna
2
turn.
successes, a triumph, and the light side dice, the light side points that she's got, she can turn into either successes or advantages.
I'm gonna turn them into
Gotcha.
advantages with
And cancel
one
out the threats.
Yeah, cancel out the threats and give us a 1 extra advantage.
Okay.
Cool.
He turns around and goes, 1,500, and you both of us know that that's as much as anybody's going to take from it. I'm going to have to use it in order to get more than that money's worth. He turns around and says, "You need something sent to you. I've got ships nearby. Maybe I give you a discount next time." Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
He gives you his transponder code. And so can you make sure you note down that you have
I think Ed's on it.
Rycha Cal. So RYCHACAL.
That's a butt ton of light side point I rolled there.
OICHA. What? Sorry.
So the first name is RYCHA.
Yep.
And the second name is CAL.
CAL. Thank you.
And yeah, you've got a discount with him.
Cool.
And you know, this kind of frontier trader, he could have anything. You don't know what he has. But there's not a guarantee he has anything, but he could have anything.
Don't worry, Grim. It's mostly religion-based. You're still useful.
You're useful for lying and weaseling your way out.
Yes.
That's true.
Legitimate things is my thing.
Yeah.
Is it?
Legitimate communication.
Yeah. Yes.
She likes to keep friends friendly.
Yes.
Okay, so
I don't piss people off. That's your job.
take 1,500 credits in a credit slip. He gives you a wink and walks off. So, you have made friends in the system.
Yep.
Onto the Valashar.
Time to go home.
Time to see the in-laws.
Yep.
Now that you know where you are and you've got upgraded maps, there's no need for astrogation check.
Cool.
You were just there going, yep, nailed it. Poof, poof. And a few jumps later, you can see a planet. This planet is... it's been in Valashar territory for about the last 600 years. It's kind of in the core of their territory. The borders keep changing, but there's a core that's always stayed the same. You can see that this mostly forest, desert, and rock covered planet. Less sea than you'd normally see on many, I'm going to use Star Trek term, M-class planets. But still pretty good. It's got one large sea, but it's not land masses in sea, it's like sea masses in land. For this, it's kind of reversed. But you can see that the seas that they have got are beautiful crystalline green blue. It looks lush, inviting. There's a desert around about the size of the Gobi Desert, but it's all rock. You can see it. It's just this big grey scale on the side of the planet as you're approaching. Out of all the different beautiful lush areas, Victoria points you to one edge of the rough, stony area. You start to approach, and coming out of one of the three moons to this place is a pair of very fast-moving, yet heavily armored vessels. These vessels are basically all engine and cargo bay. You can see that there's an arrangement on the front of them that's similar to the front of the Isvari. These are boarding vessels, heavily armored boarding vessels, filled to the gills with Valashar warriors. And there's a whoop whoop. Someone trying to hail you.
Yeah. I'll
sure.
answer.
Unknown vessel, you have joined us at a particularly interesting point. You know you're in a core Valashar system, yes?
Victoria Anderson returning home.
Where are you landing?
That's Spaceport X.
My city. He just says, then they can deal with you there. We see that your weapons start powering up. We'll be able to catch up with you.
Of course.
Welcome home, Victoria Anderson of the Valashar, if that's who you are. You start to change your trajectory so that the heat shield of the Lakota
Yes. This
is taking on the...
And this means that Nima's full name is Nima Andersson.
Yes.
It's a perfectly Star Wars name.
Yes.
Yes.
You turn the Lakota so that it's the more heat shielded part of it hits the atmosphere, and this beautiful corona, like a pair of phoenix wings, starts spraying out either side of the Lakota. The second that you get into the atmosphere proper, you angle the nose back down, JT, and you're there thinking this is really natural, considering you live in space. You know, you don't have an atmosphere back home. There's a gracefulness to it that you can't help but appreciate. As the ships that approached you, checking who you were, register your landing, there's a number of ship-to-shore communications that start to highlight on the screen places where you can land. Victoria points out that one there, and you know this is Iron Ridge. You angle towards it, JT, bank around, and down you go to what seems to be a matrix of around about 12 to 15. It's a bit hard to tell because some of them are different sizes. Berths. You have a feeling that some of the larger berths can be used as split berths, depending on the ships that are landing. You land on one of the larger ones. And you can see that with no urgency, a squad of 7 warriors are walking up to you, kind of pointing at the ship and kind of talking about the ship. Victoria, you can lower the front cargo ramp and go and meet them.
Yep.
Sorry, just very, very quickly. Is it all right if we brought the Panther Interceptor, the airspeeder, instead of the land speeder?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Until you use it, it's not really locked in because you can use the vigilance rule.
I always forget about that.
Yeah, you can just say, I have stuff in the cargo bay, and I'm like, yeah, sure. So the cargo ramp comes down, and compared to the woman who left, this long braided warrior steps off. Now, we've said before that the braid hair, cutting of the hair, is something that if she's ever defeated, Victoria will have her braid cut off.
Yep.
Her braid goes down to her boots. She actually has to braid it in a particular way to stop it getting in the way. And she's got this huge modified vibro greatsword on her back and this incredible armor as well. So it's quite an impressive sight that walks down the cargo bay of this experimental ship. The mixture in front of you, all genders, 7 of them, and one that steps forward, is Reike. So it's Rieke.
Wait.
You remember her? Quite a fast fighter. Doesn't use a shield. Prefers to use 2 vibro war picks.
Have you met her?
You may have met Anima. The others wouldn't have.
Yes.
She might have been at our wedding.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is her name? Oh my god, I need to remember her name. Like, you were at my wedding.
There were so many people.
There were at least 200
yeah, I totally
people
remember
there,
you.
and Nima is terrified of forgetting even a single one's name.
Yeah, because she's like,
Yeah, I
oh
remember
my-
you. You're
I'm just gonna introduce myself first in case you forgot who I am. Even though I was the person who was being wedded. So like
Yeah.
you probably remember me, but whatever.
This is why people buy protocol droids. Don't
Yeah.
need to remember all the names of your protocol droid remembers them.
Oh yes.
yeah, true.
We didn't
The protocol droids, when I read up on them in the old Star Wars role-playing game, and I'm thinking probably close to 20 years ago now, it does actually say that a protocol droid is basically a Rolodex. That's the main reason why people have them, is that they have to go from planet to planet to planet, and they're like, it's like, oh, this guy, what's his name? And they go, oh, sir, that person is, and it, recalls everything, listens into every conversation that they've ever had with them, so knows like their favorite food and when their birthday is and what their wife's name is and everything.
why not? Can we put like X4? How long have we known X4? Was the X4 at our wedding?
X4 wouldn't have given a shit. X4 would have gone, yes, I remember all the drinks I gave her. So yeah,
X4 is like, I don't know.
I didn't care.
But Reike is the person that came forward, and they so AFAB. When you last met them, they were kind of she/they, so I accepts either, and she steps forward and says, "Victoria, things are going well for you.
Oh yeah,
I can see.
the edges are pretty fun.
Yes, I hear it's not
He
so
was
fun. I hear it is not so fun at the court.
No, they're a bit stuffy there.
Yes,
Name?
so I hear. Not many
Anyway,
of the
Reiki, how are you?
Well, Reiki, yes.
Reiki.
Reiki.
Yes.
Reiki.
Right.
The end sound is K-A-Y, but it's not spelled that way.
Yeah.
Reiki.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
Not so bad. And she gives you a polite nod, but you can see has squared her shoulders parallel to Victoria's, neither showing dominance or submissiveness to her, and says, "I've become one of the main guards here now."
Well done.
Step up then. Well done.
Yeah, I had a few interesting fights that proved my mettle. You can see that the war picks that she has on her back seem to be heavily modified as well.
How long
You
is her
remember that-
braid?
Her braid is pretty long. It's probably a few foot smaller than Victoria's, but Victoria's is almost as long as she is.
Yeah, Victoria has to tie it up in a bun and let it loose in order for it all to fit.
Yes.
Raike's goes down just below her ass.
Yeah.
And
Not as impressive.
Not as impressive, but it's pretty
still
good.
pretty damn impressive,
Yeah.
yes. Bear in mind, that's it braided. You unbraid that shit, it goes down to a knee. You unbraid Victoria's, you have to get like a droid to carry it, like a
Yes.
wedding train. So
Which is what they did. Though you didn't have that.
you can see that you remember Raike, Victoria, uses the war picks very, very well. In fact, one of the fights that you were in alongside her was an airspeeder battle or a speeder bike battle. And they jumped from one speeder to another, slammed the vibro picks into the other vehicle, and then switched off the vibro element so they stuck.
I mean, yeah,
And
her
basically
that
was
is
just
it.
dragged along in midair, and then activating the vibro element one at a time, started doing the T-1000 dunk, dunk, dunk up the side of the hull. They are fucking badass. And you know that the reason that they probably lost the braid, for the most part, was down to the sheer, this is ground zero for Valashar fighting. They probably just tried to push themselves that little bit too hard. But you can see with the length of it now, they've obviously learned their lesson.
So, also, I wanted to draw attention to Hermit's comment. When your hair is twice the size as your small wife.
Yes, pretty much.
I can get lost in it. Yay.
So what brings you-
Sometimes Nima takes part of Victoria's hair and puts it on her head,
Yeah.
pretending it's hers.
Yes, I'm like, I have human hair. Look at this weird, like, stringy bit.
To be fair, I know somebody and his wife does that with his beard. His beard's like down, is halfway down his chest. She goes up and puts it on her hair. It's great.
God.
She looks like a mad witch. It's great.
Yes. The only place somehow, like, Twi'leks don't really have any hair except eyebrows, because
For some reason.
Because reasons, yeah.
they're probably not
so-
hair is like a thing to make them expensive.
Maybe the tiny little lecus that you can't
Yeah.
see. Little tentacles.
Little fleshy bits.
Right.
Anyway.
Right, flesh eyebrows aside. Raike goes, so what brings you back from Imperial space, huh?
Interesting news. I need to talk to the elders.
Space magic.
The speakers. Yeah, no problem.
News about an enemy close to our territory here that have done some pretty fucked up shit, you know?
And this is something that they need to know, yes?
Yes.
Something that maybe that I should have to take a hand in myself.
Perhaps.
You can see that they're relishing this. They're wiry, gaunt, by the way, solid muscle, but really quite thin, kind of like a Hugh Jackman figure. Says, well, make sure if they suggest that some sort of strike force is in order, that you drop my name, yes?
Of course.
For all
It's
time's sake.
been way too long since we fought side by side.
Indeed.
With swords.
You can see, that there's a certain amount of bravado here. You can see the Valkyries kind of facing off friendly, and they say, "I assume that you can vouch for the people who are with you."
Yes.
I mean, I hope you remember me.
Of course. And again, there's that same polite nod of "I've already acknowledged you." Yes. I know you're here, kind of thing. And they look at the heavily armored droid.
He's
Then
our
look at
best
you-
friend.
Starts to raise an eyebrow, but when Nima says "best friend," goes, "Couldn't find a organic warrior worthy of your metal out there, yeah? Had to get
No.
a droid that was as good as a Valashar."
Of course. No
I'm
one else.
sure JT could stand up.
I'm eyeing JT because I'm curious to see his reactions, if any.
Entirely stock still, like doing the droid in the corner of the room trying not to be noticed.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so
Yeah.
after doing that, Grim goes back to what he was doing during this entire conversation, which is formulating an exit strategy in his head at this very moment.
Right now, it's basically stay away from the big, roided people with melee weapons. Distance is your friend.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm,
right.
I'm standing like on the ramp, like
Yeah.
near the top. So
Yeah.
Oh, no, by the way, when I say an exit strategy, I mean like for everyone, not just for Grim. It's for the entire group.
That's the main thing from here is that you're like, yeah, distance and misdirection. These guys, as long as they're not in, as long as they don't engage with you and you get within range of their melee weapons, they're pretty much useless. So it's like, be faster, misdirect them, slow them down in lots of different ways. So you're
No.
looking at terrain.
As you've seen with
Um,
Victoria, being faster than a Valashar is very, very difficult.
If
I
they have a
know.
fucking jetpack on, yes. But by the looks of it, yeah, okay. Victoria's on your side. That's fine. I know this is something that Grim does in every port that they go into.
Yeah.
So-
this is just a habit. It's
Yeah,
not even
and
like.
that's why I'm giving the Grim eye view of this place. The Grim eye view of this place. If you came here in other circumstances, say you went away and came back with new characters, the Grim eye view of this is keep difficult terrain between them and you. You know, make sure you can move faster than they can.
This is our family. It's fine.
But yeah, when Riker looked at JT, it wasn't scathing. The eyebrow raise was literally a kind of, why have you got that kind of thing. And then when it's like, oh, there's a friend, it's like, okay, because they're not stupid. They know that you can get sentient droids. They're not sure what level of complexity that JT was until somebody went, oh, he's our best friend. Oh, right, cool.
Yeah.
At that point, I go, that level of complexity. He's not just a walking turret. Because there's always that posturing between Valashar of, do you need a crutch? Is that your crutch?
No.
And but then when Riker turned around and said, yes, had to find company of a warrior that is equal to a Valashar. That's going to be difficult, yeah. That's where suddenly Riker got it and was kind of like, yeah, the only way that you could find a warrior that was your equal with a gun was to find a specific combat droid. Got it. Understand. Yeah.
Even though, like, we picked him up for, like,
Yeah,
that.
It's almost like they took out the bro approved stamp and put it on JT's chest. It's like bro approved, no homo, kind of thing. So yeah, Riker says, then time is of the essence. Yeah, we're burning daylight.
Very
Come.
much so.
Let's go and speak to the speakers. Yolat, chances are it's going to be boring. If it is not, contact me. I'll be there straight away. You can see that Riker hasn't got a jetpack.
Does she
but-
notice the Mandalorian armor? That
She notices impressive armor. There's nothing about Victoria's Mandalorian-made armor that looks Mandalorian, unless you were a Mandalorian.
Okay.
If you're a Mandalorian, you'd go, that was made by our lot. But it's not our lot. So nothing about her armor breaks the way of the Mandalore. You're not going to get a Mandalorian, look at her armor and go, take that off. But they'll look at it and go, that was made by our kind. What did you do? Kind of thing. And they will ask you questions rather than demand that you take the armor off straight away. The most important part is you haven't got a Mandalorian helmet.
yes.
That would have been a fucking deal breaker right from the start.
Yeah,
No way they would have
no.
allowed that.
That was.
That's
like,
why
yeah.
we like.
We made a.
That's why we made Grim not keep his armor, because that would be really, really bad. Because the Mandalorians are allies to us.
Yep.
Yeah, Mandalorian sees that Grim had that helmet on. They would immediately say, take it off, and they would just accept the person going, okay, kind of thing. It was only if they say no that they would have basically taken the
Decapitate.
Mandalorian helmet by taking Grim's head out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
So
old Django Fett.
Yes.
So you walk into what looks like a crater. Nima, you remember this. Not exactly fondly. This crater is on the edge of this giant rock desert. Nima, well, Victoria knows because she grew up with this, but Nima knows through the stories that she was told that this was actually a huge comet that hit the side of the planet, and this planet regrew back around the impact. Yeah,
Because the planet is
that
weird.
the crater that you're in now is not a crater of that impact. Yeah, where the two kind of smushed together over time. It eventually got back to being somewhat of a spheroid shape, as much as any planet is. This crater here has been mined out by the Valashar. This stuff is a high density steel blend. It's I don't know if you'd even call it steel. It's an alloy. It's an alloy that the comet was made out of, minus the ice, and the impact is suspected as to why there isn't much water left in this planet. This metal is what most Valashar armor and weapons are made out of. You can see that this.
It's
this
what Victoria's sword is made of.
Yes, it is. Iron Ridge, even though it isn't actually iron, as I say, it's a strong, dense metal alloy. It's not level of unobtainium, but it's rare to the it's rare and sacred to the Valashar. Yeah.
With the right buyer, how much would this alloy be worth?
This alloy to the right buyer would be probably somewhere up in the platinum range.
How much? 'Cause how much would that
well, thankfully, I put a trading system into this game that we didn't end up using because that was supposed to be for around the table. So let me just give this here: precious metals. Let's see. Yeah.
Does Grim have to take out a big fist-sized chunk, or will just a little bit do?
Grim,
Oh,
how sneaky are you being about checking everything out
to make
just quickly?
Someone doing a knife of this. The knife itself would have a different thing to the metal itself. So the metal itself, a standard trading unit, a bulk unit, is about 80,000.
Okay.
Right. A small unit price would be about 500, and that's an average sized person can carry it. Is about 500.
Okay.
A lifter unit, so basically a crate, a large shipping crate, would be 80,000.
Okay.
And that, good luck finding a lifter that can lift it as well, because this stuff is incredibly heavy, incredibly dense.
Makes good weights for training.
Yes.
Yeah, Victoria has been known to just lay her sword down on a table, go and get a drink, and just smile as people try to lift her sword.
Levi has obviously tried to lift the sword. She made it move once. A little bit.
The last question, which is a simple question. Is it worth it? Yes or no?
To steal some of this? At the moment, you can't see any that has been liberated from the crater. In fact, the crater seems to have been picked clean of it, because on the inside of the crater, it's mostly a grey rock, but you can see little scars and veins and things like that of it, but you can keep an eye out for it.
I just
Victoria and Nima, once again, you know that there are Valashar cities all around this plain. Yeah? Guarding it.
Yeah.
Now, yes, people can land in the middle of it, but that's what the ships that first greeted you are for. If they see you landing in the middle of it, away from any of the cities, they follow you.
Yeah.
The fact that you landed on one of the perimeter cities, they're cool with. What you do see, Grim, is that there is a major thoroughfare going through this town, I guess. The crater that they've mined out kind of comes up with these kind of claw-like dramatic edges to the crater.
Yeah.
It's almost like these clawed fingers. Makes for a more dramatic space Viking home. And most of the homes for the Valashar have been mined into it So there's just doors in the crater. The crater itself goes up 3 levels, so kind of 3 mezzanines. So it's like 3 concentric circles coming in. The center place is like a marketplace, training grounds, and then you can see that the main thoroughfare that goes right through the town goes into what is a gigantic tunnel going into the bowels of the earth.
All right.
You have a feeling that that's the mine head.
Okay.
Did you hear
all
what Ed said, by the way, Simon?
Yeah.
No, what's that?
Ed's just keeping an Ed. Ed is keeping an eye on Grim, and so is JT.
No.
Just if Grim makes a break for something to steal, I don't particularly want to be shot down by the Valashar.
Sure. In that case, Grim at the moment just seems to be sizing the place up. You can be as suspicious as you like, but you don't currently have any specific... You don't see any specific thing that Grim is looking at. Grim is doing Grim. You notice that everywhere that Grim has gone to, he looks at everything like he's appraising it.
Yeah, in this case, I'm just going to make eye contact, flick open the doors on my leg holster.
Noted.
Then just
Where
close
there
it.
is a gun.
Yeah, noted.
Which leg? The leg with the shotgun?
Oh, yeah, yes, the right leg is the
The
shotgun.
one with the shotgun.
Yeah, because both of your legs have something in it. So
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has
And so
a
does my
gun in
back now.
every limb.
yeah. Actually, at this point, I think that's true now. And the chest.
Ah.
I haven't got guns in my arms. My arms are just arms.
Oh yeah, your arms are the spindle arms.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
Sorry,
they're,
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's true. But you use your arms to shoot the guns you have on your back.
Well, in my back. I haven't got anything on my back at the moment.
Yeah, his back opens up and it's basically a weapons cabinet. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's where
Message
the
for-
disintegration rifle is.
Yes.
Yeah.
The disintegration rifle, where as JT pulls it out, the disintegration rifle actually extends and kind of unpacks the stock and all the rest of it, because you had it miniaturized, didn't you?
Yes. But anyway.
Anyway,
Guns.
so yes, telescopic rifle, great. So yeah, you can see that clearly the consignment of metal comes up from that kind of mine head, which seems to have Valashar just kind of chilling out beside it. You walk past a bunch of kids between the ages of 7 and 11, and they are kneeling in front of stone plates like slate, on which there is a metal plate on top, and they have a cross section like a girder, only about, say, a third of a meter of this girder, and each of the kids has a welding mask on, and it has a small pistol-shaped hand welder. Walking backwards and forwards is an old Valashar. Okay, everybody, take a look at the metal that you have in front of you. This is iron. Iron is an inferior metal, but you will find it everywhere you go. Iron misbehaves. It has impurity. It is not as strong, and also it doesn't work well with moisture or air. We shall be making sure that we have a nice, even bead. You will need this. If you find an inferior metal, you should still be able to weld it onto your bulkhead to be able to stop decompression. You should be able to make a barricade with inferior metal and make it so that it is as strong as it can be. Only an inch or two of this metal will be able to get rid of long-range blast fire. You will be able, with your friends, of course, to be able to pick up said barricade and run towards the enemy, not fearing their blaster fire, and then simply leaving it down, jumping over, and finishing them off. You can see that there's some of the older kids are grinning at this. You can see that as many of the kids as they can are trying to braid their hair right now. So
Aw.
some of them have got quite long hair. So all genders, they're growing their hair long at the moment. You know that once assigned male Valashar will start growing the beard instead of the hair sometimes. And so we'll use the beard in place of a braid. You can see that everybody is trying to form a braid on
Yeah,
the back of their
because
hair.
sometimes, especially older Relishar male will get like
Pattern baldness, yeah.
baldness. Yeah.
That's
So,
happened,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Yes.
Luckily, there's always a beard.
Yes,
Yeah.
beard.
So yeah, there are some bald Valashar where they've deliberately just kind of scraped their head, but they have long braided beards going down over their chests. The teacher carries on explaining how best to do the weld, and then kind of hits just kind of lightly dong hits a piece of scrap metal with a hammer. The kids bring down their goggles or their visors and start welding at the age of 7. Victoria, you recognize this well. You remember this well. You pretty much, for 4 years, had to weld in front of maniacs like this who would be getting you to do it time and time and time again until your beading was perfect. As he steps backwards and forwards and goes, if any of you think that you are going to aspire to become an armorer or a weaponsmith, you will not even start on that journey unless you pay attention here and you have it perfect. Watch how the metal melts, how it moves, how it melts. This is the poetry of the Valashar. Not metal, not man, but both together, one bolstering the other. The Valashar commanding the metal, understanding the metal. This is how, no matter what technology you go up against, be they droid, just idly waves his hand in JT's direction, be they droid, vehicle, starship, gun, the Valashar are all we need. It is this and this that will make you win. Strength will come by having the metal on your body, being able to move, being able to run. We will make stronger allies of you. But first, you need to understand it. To be Valashar. And he's saying this whilst the children are welding. Mm-hmm. You carry on. And to the left of the mine, there is a slight change in the wall of the crater. The entries to this place don't have doors, just archways carved in. And both Riker and Victoria are walking dead in that direction. Nima knows the direction too, because you're married there.
Yeah. Yay.
This has I said about the fingers on the side of the crater. Above this, there is instead just a spire made out of 2 of these kind of spiked fingers, one taller than the other. You remember, Victoria, on nights when some of the plasma storms that happen on this planet, ribbons of energy shooting down from the sky, hitting that spine. When you step inside, there is a low, droning note, like throat singing. And as you walk into the hall, as you get closer, this kind of Doppler effect breaks up the note. And inside is this arena. No one sits here. Everyone stands. This is where ritual combat, training, trials take place. This is where Nima and Victoria were forged together. The ceremony was a little alien to Nima, not exactly delicate or intimate, passionate and sincere. You enter the chamber, and
I
around
am,
the side,
I am telling JT about this though. I'm pretty sure she's told him about this before, but she's like just pointing out things.
She just likes retelling him about her wedding.
Yes.
as you step into the hall itself, this long throat-singing kind of tone breaks, and now that you're inside the ring of people making this sound, you hear this Ora ni ora shoda ninai de shigaro ni daravorachito.
Apparently, these Swedish Vikings speaking Welsh.
No,
Yes.
none of that was Welsh.
Oh, that sounds Welsh.
If anything, that was my approximation of Tibetan throat. Well, not Tibetan throat singing, but the Tibetan meditation chant. This is a vigil. Every single singer has a large weapon in front of them. Either it's so big that they have their hands resting on the pommel, or they have it suspended from their hand in front of them, with their elbows couched to their side, because holding out that weapon for that amount of time, even these guys couldn't do. So they're just hanging it basically from their arms. They're staring straight into the center, where there's a small brazier that's burning with a strange multicolored flame. And you know this, Victoria, is a vigil. It's a vigil of fortitude. There are people there who've probably been singing for days.
Yeah.
It is something that is considered to be focusing. It's considered to be mind clearing. People do it out of sorrow. They do it out of contrition. It's just a general way of clearing the mind and gaining focus. It's something that people who are a little immature or drink too much or whatever can be guided to go and do this.
They got intention.
A recommendation that only the Valashar can give. One that shouldn't be ignored.
Okay, with
Stepping
intention.
into the center arena is a small cowled figure. Small compared to these gigantic warriors. You can see that as she throws back her hood, underneath is trussed up a huge braid. The body has wasted. This person is in her 80s at least. She steps forward, her eyes blank orbs. Her eyes seem to have like burn marks around them. She steps towards the brazier, puts her hands above it. Steps around the brazier and walks towards you. You know that she's technically blind.
Technically.
Just progress and force.
Victoria, you come to us again.
Of course.
Your journey has
Good
gone
to
to
be
the rest of the stars, and yet you find yourself coming around again. Why do you come back to us? Has your journey ended so early?
No, but I have news about an enemy that may be hiding in our territory.
So you're coming back as a gift to us?
Yes, and to seek guidance in dealing with them.
Guidance suggests wisdom.
Yes.
Am I to believe that the strong-willed warrior, pig-headed, has come back with some gain of wisdom?
I mean, she had to.
I would hope
we
that
worked a
my
lot on
travels
that.
have enlightened me.
Enlightenment is a a choice word. You'll try
It
to make
is.
sure that you don't talk about. Do you think that the Valashar require the wisdom of a warrior in order to defeat this enemy? Do you think that you coming here is going to make any difference? We have the wisdom of the speakers. We have the strong arm of our warriors. What will one warrior do?
The wisdom.
This one warrior has seen some very strange happenings in the core system that are stemming from very close to our space, and I wish to share that knowledge in case we want to take care of it.
So you think yourself more worldly than us?
No. But I think that an outside knowledge is never a fault, as it can help us grow.
Ha! You've become too polite, Victoria. Yes,
Well-
you are more worldly than us. Say it. The Valashar know how we work.
Trying to be
We
polite.
have our territory.
You're spending too much time around me, dear.
Your politeness
be.
wastes my time.
Right. Sorry.
Apologies.
polite.
It's been too much fucking dealing with high society lately. I need a good fight. Anyway, so there's this cult that uses some weird core religion to fuel their powers.
Sith. It's a
And
Sith.
Yes, that's the name they've been using. Anyway, they're a cult and they're operating out of our territory, and I want to kill them because they've been targeting my wife.
There's a smile that ends up just bunching up the wrinkles on this old woman's cheeks. Yeah. Now we get to the truth of it, yeah?
Yeah.
You come here to seek your enemy. You come here to ask our help, to help ourselves, but also you, yeah?
Yes.
Then say it plainly. When you speak to the Valashar and you waste time with the pleasantries, you'll find yourself speaking in tones to which the truth gets
Lost.
diluted. You use words that are not correct or not suitable or inaccurate. These things can kill a warrior. If ever you wish to be where I am today, one day, this much you must know. Speak plainly.
Yes.
Yeah. We shall help you with this. And I suspect, and yes, Sister Nima, we know what the Sith is.
Thank you.
We suspect that these dark cultists are at one of our borders. And so, yes, we can give you information. We can give you resources, yeah? Maybe even people.
That
But
would be
information so that you can infiltrate their territory, seek out your foe, and attack them. The one thing that is never tolerated amongst us, and should never be tolerated with you, is someone targeting family. Family is all that you have. Those that will remember you fondly, with glory, when you fall. And you will, as will I, as will all. Come. She takes you out of the main arena and into the tunnels beyond to sit down and start talking about what's going to be the final chapter of your journey. we're going to take a 10-minute break because it is 11:30 and I want more coffee. So
That sounds like a brilliant plan. I went to the store today. I have at least 2 months worth of coffee in my store cupboard now.
I do need caffeine.
also I'm tired and I'm trying to do a mixture between German and Scandinavian accents. So a little bit
Yeah,
of
I
rest
know,
would be
Hermit.
great.
I'm playing 2 different characters, and they're
Yep.
complete opposite, and I need to turn
Yeah,
my brain.
I deliberately said with glory. Yep. And I have to say, listening to Felicia play, what's it called? What's the game that you're addicted to at the moment?
Foundation.
Foundation. Listening to Felicia play Foundation. Oh my god, glory is real.
Murder.
I can't help it if my subjects are unhappy because they don't have homes. Then they should just build them.
Yeah,
But they won't, because they're
I
too
swear she's
slow at
building
building
Atolls
my
around.
mansion.
We've got a little dictator going on here. Anyway, we're going
Anyways.
to take a
Monarch.
10-minute
Thank
break,
you.
and we will see you when we come back.
Yes.
welcome back.
Hello.
When we left off, you guys were taken into the chambers of the Storm Speakers. This old, hunched figure, well into her 80s, takes you through a set of tunnels, and now, Grim, you can see that the tunnels here are lined with this dense alloy that you've seen in Victoria's sword. You get taken off to what you can only consider to be a consultation chamber. High up in the crater, looking out like a balcony. It looks out onto the rock desert, undulating with strange razor-like ridges, like waves of steel. Some of them showing some signs of concentricity. It's a strange and as alien a landscape as you've seen. Like molten metal, like a sea of molten metal, suddenly cooled in an instant. A snapshot in time. Maybe a result of the impact. Maybe this was always the shape of it. It starts to present questions in your mind as to how it got this way. The speaker takes a very deliberate and ritualistic chair that looks out over this panorama. There are benches either side, and she gestures for you to sit. You can see that people come in, place down small wooden tables, equal part tray and table, that just puts in front of you. And you can see that there is meat, cheese, a tough kind of bread, something warm and steaming from cups, and quite clearly ale. The speaker stares out into the distance and says, "Whenever we have looked at the Sith, as we will use their name, we have felt an energy come back to us through the spirits. The spirits are aroused by them. They are out of balance. They take the aggression, the heart of the storm that we use in the Valashar, and they make it something out of balance, as I say. They make it reckless.
The force is out of balance.
The Force. We have heard this. We've heard this name. Yes.
Yes.
The Force is what the Sith and the Jedi use to try to understand something that they cannot fathom. They are not connected to the spirits. They're not connected.
The Force. What the Sith is doing is he's using your spirits for bad purposes. He's using the dark side of the spirits, if that makes sense. Yes.
As I say, he is using. I shall use he. I do not know the specifics. You say your enemy is he. I shall use.
I don't know, but it works as well.
Yes, the Sith that we talk about. Yes, they use dark energies that make the spirits fall out of balance with us. We have great power, as well you know. You have not seen much of our power because we do not use it at weddings. Typically, the spirits guide us. They tell us about our enemies. They tell us how to stay in harmony with the land, especially when we go to planets that are being brought out of harmony to become dead and poisoned. We will often find conquest the fastest way to heal the planet, yeah?
Well,
we leave planets in a healing state.
I would say that I am touched and in tune with the spirits as well.
There's an energy about you, yeah. And in touch requires knowledge that you don't have yet. We have felt the presence of the spirits. They do not speak to us directly. We open ourselves up to them, and wisdom comes to us. Yeah, we stop, we listen. You saw the children outside. They were listening to the metal, watching it. They were not asking the metal questions. Yeah, you cannot ask the spirits questions, and you say that you can work with them as the child works with the metal. Yes.
Yes.
The Sith, they are attempting to weld with a lightsaber. Yeah, I know of their swords.
Yes, he...
They're
Rather than asking the spirits, he forces the spirits.
Yes, as one would try to bend the metal. Just because one succeeds does not mean that one has used the right method. You can bend the metal so that it weakens, or you can treat it, understand it, work with it so it becomes new, different, gains purpose. I see your energies being more subtle, Nima. For us, we've drawn on great power by understanding. And you can see there's a kind of storm cloud on the horizon in this balcony. Seems to be coming towards you. There's much that we can give you with regard to knowledge, information. We have been sizing up our enemy across our borders for some time now. To be able to take but one system to make a point, this is good for the Velashar. But taking an entire planet when there is an anger, there's no cause, no direction, just anger, maybe machination by these Sith, means that they will probably make us pay a greater price than we are willing to pay for a simple planet. Yet something has to be done. We shall see. Maybe the destroying of Victoria's enemy is enough. Maybe it will be enough for us, enough for the spirits, enough to start unraveling the Sith in this area. What can I tell you so far through mundane means?
Oh,
There's an organization.
Well, I'm open to unmundane means of information.
All in good time. We did not start a fire with an inferno. You started with a spark. By mundane means. We know that there is an organization. No different to the power behind the corporations in your space. Yeah. No different to the power that is behind the throne that was once behind the Senate, that was once behind the Republic. This is nothing different, nothing new. In every system that we have dealt with, there have been wheels behind wheels behind wheels. We did not see this as anything noteworthy or necessary to dwell upon. They're organized. They have a form of infrastructure that rivals our own. We have the warrior caste, the citizenry, and the speakers. They have the one at the top, Always the figurehead. Figurehead knows who is above them, or who they answer to. Everyone in the planet answers to them. There's a structure in place that if that person was to die, that the next person who would be the person to obey is preordained. Like what they call them, kings and queens, yeah? Kings and queens, you kill one king, their son, their daughter. The queen, her daughter.
With this...
A similar thing, but they do not have to worry about something so fragile as a bloodline. It is documented. In each seat of power, in each planet, on each system, the hierarchy is down to documentation. It's a bureaucracy. And yet it is ruthlessly efficient. Everything is done from the permission from that hierarchy.
With the Sith, they normally have a master and a what do you say, Felicia? I'm completely lost the word.
Apprentice.
Apprentice. Thank
They
you.
don't have a special name for
Yeah,
it. It's just an apprentice.
Yeah, they have a master and an apprentice. How they would normally work before the before everything happened. Now I don't know how this particular Sith is working. If they're working completely alone, or if they managed to find someone to do their apprentice.
Maybe the head at the top works very much like each of the individual planets, yeah? Each of the individual planets reports into somebody. They report into somebody, and maybe at the top of the pyramid, the master and the apprentice that you referred to, they're there, yeah? The people who are serving these governors, leaders, they only know one name. I would wager what is left of my senses that the same is true of each of these planets. In the same way that each leader has a set of, we shall call them heirs, yeah? I am almost certain that they know who they currently obey and who they need to obey should that person go missing.
Yes. The name of this Sith, by the way, is Darth Solaris. Was it, Simon? Just so I'm saying the right thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we know the name of our enemy. Yeah, this is good. This is good.
Other
Wasn't
Wasn't
than
an
there
easy
was on a
thing to track
bounty.
down, but we got it.
Yes. Well, yeah. It was the name. It's the name they publicly use, as much as we know. It's what they,
Publicly used.
as in they put it in. Well, how did we find out that Darth Solaris was it that on? Like, did they put signed Darth Solaris on the bounty, or was it like did we have to like tack it?
Signed another Sith. Please don't read this, Emperor Palpatine.
I think it was Solaris on the bounty, and the Darth we filled in later.
Because you were pretty sure it was a moth or something in the beginning.
I will tell you from the notes that I have told you is that Darth Solaris is the apprentice and not the master.
Yeah.
Solaris does not like being under their master. Their master is very accomplished, very good at living in the shadows. Almost
He's
no one knows who they are.
Yeah, and they're using
how
Darth
do
when
we-
they're not supposed to, because you're supposed to only use Darth once you are the master. Yeah.
Darth Solaris uses
There are
Darth
only a
Solaris.
set amount of Darths, and to become a Darth, you have to kill the previous Darth. But even then, it is not certain that you will become a Darth, because that is decided by a council, and you need to have proven yourself to be
I
of
don't think-
equal merit to the previous Darth before you can become a Darth.
I
Did
mean,
they probably just give the title to Anakin Darth Vader right away, though?
Because,
and the
Palpatine-
Emperor introduced Maul as Darth Maul. So
Yeah. There we
it's so Darth Solaris in this case is self-named.
Yeah.
How do we know this about Darth Solaris?
You found out about Darth Solaris, he says, checking his notes. You had this given to you. You started off getting the name Solaris and the bounty, and then you had the rest filled in by Kyle Ralph.
Kyle Renfrew.
Kyle. Right. Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Prince. Jedi trainer.
Jedi
With
friend.
parentheses.
Friend who is half a Jedi because he was a youngling during the attack.
And he did not get murdered. Yay!
Yes, he had. To remind you, Kyle was diagnosed with a rare genetic disorder and was taken off planet to a specialist facility to have it treated when the harvest of the younglings happened. Yeah, the attack on the Jedi Temple. So out of that kind of class, going straight to the movies where you've got the kid looking at Vader's, or Anakin as he was back then, lightsaber just before he kills them all. There was a member of that class that's missing. That person who is missing is Kyle. And Kyle is a partially trained. Was it Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle. No, I was just making fun of
There's a
Monday
long
name.
history of Star Wars Kyles.
Yeah.
And so Kyle was taken off planet, and when the order was given and the Jedi started being killed, he was put into hiding by the doctor that was treating him. And so
He was a bobbin.
Yep, he was partially trained as a Jedi, and the rest of the way trained as a spy. So, not the best Jedi warrior. He's not going to go Mace Windu anytime soon. But in terms of being able to hold people, hold a Sith off, so that people can escape, and then escaping himself, Kyle's kind of the man. Yeah, he's been running the Force Underground, or kind of the Force Railroad, to get Force sensitives to the edge of the galaxy, out as far away from Imperial eyes as possible. So it's from him that you heard that he said, yes, Darth Solaris. And you also heard from him that he said, yeah, Darth Solaris hates his master, wants to kill him, and is a self-named Darth.
Yeah, so we should really be calling him like Padawan Solaris, and he would watch him burn.
Technically, yeah. Padawan would be the... Padawan Solaris would probably be the official title.
No.
Oh, that's Jedi only, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Jedi only.
only.
That's why
it
I
is
said
not what you should use, because that is an insult to the Jedi Order as well.
Okay, but yes, he would probably be
Apprentice Solaris.
Either apprentice or supplicant.
Just his name.
Or
Solaris.
Just his name. It's just Solaris.
Isn't there like Inquisitors as well?
I mean, this is
but that is
all
another
semantics.
title where
This
that
isn't
is
Yeah, anyway.
Either way, you know
Anyway.
what Solaris calls themselves.
There we go.
Hello,
Anyway.
Lord Solaris. Yes, Lord.
That's Empire.
completed his training to a certain degree and showed some prestige. He could be a lord, but also, like, Sith doesn't give their apprentices a title until they
I
have
think we just
really
spent
proven
10 minutes
themselves.
discussing Sith semantics. I think it's a good idea to move on.
I'm sorry, I
welcome to
can't
Star
help
Wars.
it. They
Felicia
say
knows.
stupid
No
things
matter
and I
what
need to
we're
correct
doing
it.
here, no matter what we're doing here, it's not as bad as getting one thing wrong in front of a member of the 501st. So, that's hours you're talking about there. Normally, hours, even if you're apologizing. So you find yourself talking to the Stone Speaker, and they say, "We know the name then." Yeah.
Of the apprentice.
This is good. We know the infrastructure. We would not be able to find any evidence, you understand, to link the two together. But We can put two and two together, yeah? See the connections. It is our intention that the Imperial Sith do not find out about this. The last thing I need is an Imperial pilgrimage to wipe out a contender.
Considering what we've found out so far about Solaris, I doubt that would happen because they are keeping quiet even to the Imperials.
Yeah, they
Good.
don't want to be discovered by the Imperials, because either they're gonna be forced to work for them and do their bidding, or they're just gonna be wiped out.
Good. I do not want the Imperial war machine stepping through my back garden. We are strong. The Imperials are...
A different beast, unfortunately.
Let's just say that if I ever had to
Planet
fight
Kings.
the Empire, I would like to do it on our terms. The correct way to attack the Empire would be, as the Alliance are attempted to doing, a guerrilla warfare.
Would take a lot of resources, though. Better left to the Alliance for now.
I do not consider the price to my people being acceptable.
No.
I say this on behalf of all Storm Speakers. So, we know one thing. In order to keep this infrastructure, they must let people be happy. Yeah? No one wants to see change if they prosper. The economies on these planets are second to none. Maybe not with the opulence of some of the areas in Imperial space, but out here, yeah, they're good. Everybody is either attached to somebody of influence and prospering for it, or they are making sure that they don't make ripples because they have no support here. You will find that there is nobody willing to turn the tide on a greater scale. Everyone is trying to change their own personal situation, yeah? To improve it, to increase the security, to stay there where they are, the successful, at least. Others are trying to become successful. It consumes them. Do not look to turn the people you meet on this planet away from the infrastructure. Don't try to be looking to find revolutionaries. You need to start dealing with them. And she looks myopically at Grim. You need to start minding their self-interests. Someone who could do that would be very helpful to this mission. Everyone is looking to protect themselves, their families, or at least to make sure that they get high enough up on the chain that they can live a long and safe and comfortable life. It's possible. They have technology that rivals the Empire, this fabled planet Coruscant. Compared to us, we are considered savages compared to them. Well, we're okay with this. If they think that we are not a threat, we will continue to increase how much of a threat we are quietly, behind closed doors. They have tried to recruit our number. No, it has not happened. I think because the disruption that they bring to the spirits is seen in the eyes of all Valisha. This Sith can't turn the Valisha heart that has already become one with the spirits. In terms of technology, they don't like their droids. Starts looking at JT. Droids to them are not allowed to have status. They are tools. It's not to say that they are not occasionally referred to with affection or even as individual entities in their own right. Certainly traders, droid traders that turn up are given ambassadorial status, maybe. Or at least granted status through tourism, shall we say, or commerce. Your friend here will not have much of a problem there, especially looking as he does. But they do not like in the core of their society to have advanced droids like this. Maybe because the Sith, they can't get inside your head.
No.
JT, I believe. Maybe this is an asset. I'm told you're a warrior.
When I need to be.
Good. Be a warrior. Because you will have something that maybe Victoria does not have. Especially when you get closer to the source.
Well, any skill with guns, for one.
I've heard that...
Covers me.
Good.
It works.
Lone Valashar is a powerful weapon. A Valashar that has the tactics, the team, support, unstoppable.
A lone Valashar is a tool. Much like we are.
She looks at you and kind of almost gives you like a bit of sass, like she's almost angry. And then just breaks into a huge grin. Yeah. We're all tools. Each of us.
Yes.
Depends on how we allow ourselves to be wielded, yeah?
Exactly.
Yes. Do you have any information of where Solaris is right now?
For this, I need the spirits. The sky outside is a purple grey. And you can see these two blank eyes stare out into the distance. And there's a sudden flash of light as lightning hits the desert outside.
Do I feel anything, Simon?
Roll me your force value in force dice, please.
Yes.
Also, may I just remind Grim and JT that you guys have never been introduced to her.
Oh, Grim is not paying attention.
I rolled one light
Grim
side.
looks like he's paying attention, but he is fucking elsewhere in his brain.
Rolled one light side.
You may choose to spend up to 2 strain if you wish to focus on this.
Yeah, sure, I'll focus on it.
Okay. Oh, everybody else clear your strain because you've been traveling. Your strain's gone.
Okay.
Thanks.
So mine should be 2 then. Because
Yours is gonna be 2 anyway.
yeah.
You focus and you can feel a certain unease, Nima. You open yourself up fully to the Force. You know that some of what you're opening yourself up to is not the good stuff. But you're steeling yourself. It takes effort. You feel tired from the effort. But as you open up, you can see that the Force is responding to the speaker. As you understand it, the speaker themselves is a Force user. You're not getting Jedi or Sith from them. They are just connected to the Force, as all things are, but connected in a way that allows them to wield energy. As you look at them, motes of light crackle over her skin. There's a sudden darting light that seems to shoot through her veins like lightning itself. is passing through her blood. She stands up, raises her hands wide, and crack, 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 blinding light starts flashing through the balcony as outside, probably only a few meters away from the edge of the balcony, plasma, lightning, you're not sure, hits, and there's a resounding boom, boom, boom at ground zero with the thunder. There's a smell of burnt ozone, and the flashes of light just seem to make these featureless orbs, these eyes of the Storm Speaker, light up. After each flash, their eyes just seem to have a glow about them. Thin, tapering sparks come from their fingers, hitting the floor. There's no rictus to the body for the energy passing through it. If anything, she looks relaxed, almost like she's being held up by the shoulders. The hunched figure now is standing tall, and you get a feeling that in her youth, the speaker probably was around the same size and stature as Victoria. As quickly as this happens, it ends. You watch this laser show. Lightning pours from the speaker. There's a slight mist that rolls no more than a few inches from the ground that seems to billow out in every direction from her. Yeah, I have seen him. He kneels before his master. His master is old, accomplished, far older than many Sith would be today. This creature, the master, survives only through dark forces. That's how Solaris has the freedom that they desire. Powerless in front of the master, but when able to leave their sight, able to reign individually, seeking to collect enough dark energy for one single strike onto the master. When they do so, they will be ready at the dying of the master to absorb the energy and exceed the existence that the master had. Except Solaris has ambition. Yeah. Solaris looks towards the Empire. Looks to be stronger than their master. To walk into the heart of the Empire. To pluck the Emperor from his throne. And rule in one simple and elegant strike. Folly. Hubris. A child. Plan concocted with no understanding, no wisdom. Outsmarting them may be easy. Just be aware. The Solaris packs a punch.
Did you see what race are they? Human? Sith?
I do not know the race.
No, Twi'lek? No.
I do not recognize the race.
Okay.
The race, to me, and I know many from the core. Maybe the Solaris was born in wide space.
But not human.
No. The master, for whom I cannot divine a name, I think maybe it was human ones.
Okay. Do we know where they are? Or is it just a task of finding out?
The master... You'll know the master when you get close to the planet. The planet itself is broken. The dark energy of the Sith surrounds it like an aura. As for Solaris, Solaris spends as little time there as possible. Instead, traveling throughout what they consider to be their empire. Maybe preparing themselves for imperial ascendancy, yeah?
I think so.
I asked the spirits to guide us, to guide you, to find the thread that you must pull on to find Solaris, a place to hunt. Go to Koshan, a planet that a few centuries ago was Valisha, is now, we let it go. It was healed and did not need Valashar anymore, and became a successful trading guild, a simple consortium of investors. You shall find what you need there. Koshan now is still wears the face of a trading post, but is mired in this dark infrastructure. Weave yourself in amongst its branches. Find the roots.
Well,
Shall provide you with much information. You get handed over to a member of the Velashar, who, for the most part, is an intelligence agent. They give you information on Koshan. Koshan, for the most part, is very similar to Earth. Has more to do with a dry and arid state. So we're talking kind of like from Gobi Desert to kind of Turkey's climate. Very rare to have anything else. Little to no rainforests, but the rainforests that are there are protected. You know that the Valashar actually created them. Terraforming. They are considered sacred even now. The main trade that they have there is they harvest energy. So power cells, different fuel types. They have some mining that they do there as well. And they do a lot of reclamation. So they take a lot of mixed metals, alloys, smelt them back down. There's a heavy industry there. The people there are heavy industry, a lot of workers, not many bureaucracy or anything like that. It's considered to be very much like the mega factories, I guess you would call them. So the headquarters aren't necessarily on the planet. Everybody there has an identity of being a hard worker, being a team player. There's a certain amount of shaming for anybody who is lazy in any way or doesn't want to toe the line and be a worker and join like the hive of workers there. They seem to have a reasonable social structure. Doesn't seem to be anything that's overtly evil about it all. But you're seeing people who are very much kept shepherded by both culture and the way that the planet works in general. Everybody has just enough everyone's proud of having just enough, of putting food on the table, and pretty much all of their media, all of their politics is based around this kind of production, provision, family kind of values. But on the outside, when you look at it from the top down, everybody's just kept in their place. But everybody, there's no such thing as anyone starving there. Everyone finds work. And as such, it's considered to be a functional planet, very functional. There are certain freedoms there that you think may not exist. Your in is that they trade for pretty much anything. They can reclaim anything. So
Well, we have a lot of random shit we've collected.
Yep. They accept traders. There's no border control. Most of the things keeping people on the planet is down to societal shame and expectation.
The thing I would suggest is that if we are to work our way into the infrastructure, we might want to come in as investors rather than traders.
Yeah, probably.
The intelligence agent says, yeah, you could do that. You could do that.
We certainly have the capital.
That's true.
If you've got the money, Imperial credits are as good as any, but we can change whatever you want to any other currency.
I can feel Chevron shaking in his boots
Yeah.
as I say that.
He's gonna murder us, but it's fine. We're killing a Darth.
That would place you above the hoi polloi if you're an investor, and it would start placing you close to the head of that particular planet.
Because I'm a trader. But more risky, I suppose.
They would need to vet you.
Exactly.
Do you think that you can be successfully vetted without being found out who you are?
I think it's unlikely. There is a stain on my record at the Bounty Hunters Guild. Stares at Grim.
They just looks like you just brought him out of like he was probably dissociating or something. He just goes, "What? What? Why are you looking at me?"
You
Right.
might want to pay attention.
You're the only one of us that Solaris doesn't know.
This Bounty
Yes.
Hunter Guild. Money talks, yeah?
Money talks, and we've been purged from the record several times. I think we might
Only twice.
still be on there at the moment.
No, we purged ourselves for both.
We got rid of those. Remember, we saved that
Yeah,
guy
so
on the.
you don't have any
drone
bounties
ship.
on you, but what JT is referring to is that JT's own personal record
Oh yeah.
has something on it.
Yeah.
And he goes, we shall organize this. The bounty hunters guilds are known to us. We shall place some money into the guild and say that you performed a hit for us, and as part of the payment we would like your record cleared.
We also might be on some records in corporate space. I don't know how far-reaching their background checks will be. Although,
Will we? I think we covered that.
I'd be
up
familiar
pretty
with that,
well.
Simon, so I can just give JT the answer he needs.
As far as you're aware, everything has been covered by Matar.
Yeah.
The only person who has records on you is a Force sensitive who wants no leads in your or his direction.
I was not
And
worried
you
about
also have
Paul.
blackmail on.
Yeah.
The
The
last thing
blackmail
is,
is not that he's a force sensitive, for your clarification, Rodrigo. JT has personal blackmail on him.
That makes sense.
Emotional blackmail.
Right.
That was a fun day.
So, it sounds like you're not sticking your head above many of the people in Imperial space.
We haven't tweaked
Well, we have,
too
but
many
it's
noses,
been
but
covered by other people who we also happen to
I don't think
be-
we've actually been in Imperial space much. We were in an outpost once.
we're in a ship owned by a moth.
Yes. That's not the Empire. That's Moth. That's different.
You say
The
that,
moths of
love.
the
You
Empire.
say that.
The Moths are the Empire, yeah.
They're local governors for the Empire.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you effectively stole a senator's
Well, that's not what they know us
Classic
from.
car.
Like, we killed everyone who was involved there. We are not traced back to that. But,
I'm not going to break the conversation with JT, please. So I'm going to go back to JT.
yeah.
I
The
think that we
ship
can
might be
help.
difficult. We might need to borrow one for a while.
I doubt that they will trace the
bedroom.
ship. They
Yeah, these
they're
guys
outside of Boss, but they may have contacts inside of us.
I don't think
I don't
these
think
guys.
Boss has caught wind of us yet.
Yeah, and I don't think these guys are going to look out for some obscure Moth's ship.
The
Well, if that depends how thorough their background checks are.
the intelligence agent goes, "How attached are you to the look of the ship?"
You'd have to ask the ship.
Yes.
I think there's something we can do for you. Basically, the offer is that they will give the ship a Valashar makeover. That is that they will do what they did with the Isbari and bolt an absolute fuck ton of metal to the outside and make it so that there will be some consequences, some good and some bad.
Of course.
It will be unrecognizable.
Yeah. Mechanically, they will put so much on it that it's unrecognizable. But also mechanically, it will raise the hit points by 2, but lower the system strain by 4.
System strain, okay. Doing anything to the handling?
No?
Okay.
Yeah, that's up to JT and Clarity, I think.
Yeah.
You'll be more vulnerable to ion fire.
Take a
Yeah.
provisional yes from me at the moment. The final thing I wanted to check on is setting up a record. We might have some contacts who we might be able to borrow their record for investing and such. I'm sure they wouldn't want complete beginners jumping in.
You
We'll
can
make
get
some-
yourself a decent financial record, yeah?
That's the idea. We've got friends we can borrow from.
I wish I had your friends. Sounds like
Well,
the beginnings of a
considering how
plan.
many things we had to kill in order to even get to them.
Contact your friends. We have secure communication lines here that you can use to contact them. Get yourself your fancy bank account. Set yourselves up as investors. We shall find the people that you need to contact and do the work for that for you.
Bank account. I'm sorry, that's just so funny to me.
Our smiths shall make your ship look like a Valashar prowler. Fast, powerful. Not a boarding ship like many of ours. More of a hunter. It's able to take down fast, nimble fighter craft, whilst itself being heavy. We normally have a loadout that is similar to yours. So we should do so. You'll turn up in a Valashar prowler. You will have a Valashar bodyguard. Kind of gestures at Victoria. You shall have investors, and points at Nima and Grim.
What?
You're going to be an investor. Congratulations. You just entered the world of business. Quite possibly the only business.
What makes you think I wasn't in the world of business before?
Because Grim, just look at you.
Because
Anyway,
you're yet to get to that level of corruption, my friend.
There is a difference between business and business.
Yes. You stealing a couple of silverware is not exactly business.
And
Not the most boring.
accidentally knocking out a bounty hunter does not make you business either.
Investor, that's not the most boring role I had to play. That's fine.
You have the ability to hit this infrastructure. This is the intelligence agent now.
Yeah.
To hit this infrastructure in the one weakness it has, and that is people. The people at the top, cut off the head, it will be replaced. Get inside the head. That's different. Influence it in the same way that they influence others. Make them feel like they have the upper hand, that they are taking more than they are giving, whilst getting what you need. You just need a key. Let them take what they want. You get the key, you'll end up going further up the chain, and by the time you cut that off, everybody below is no longer a threat. From the information that I've had from Victoria, you have people who, through various means, can get into people's heads. Victoria and yourself, JT, should be able to keep them safe should anything go wrong.
We can get into people's heads in a slightly different way.
Now you're talking like a Valashar.
Oh, he's been an honorary one for a while now in my eyes.
No small accolade, my friend. So, you rest here. We do what we need to do, and then it is incursion. You go behind enemy lines. You start to walk into the hive. Make sure that you are either not seen or you're seen only for reasons that you want to be seen. Don't mess with the small folk. You'll become one. You need to be brash, be bold. Know when to put your money on the line, as I believe your friend Chevron would say.
Oh, you've been following us then.
We haven't so much been keeping.
Have you been sending letters home a lot, Victoria?
Yeah,
No.
Victoria has been sending what needs to be sent back.
I send reports, not letters.
Yeah, it's not so much that she's not been spying on you or anything like that, but when they turn and say, "Is everything okay with you?" She's like, "Yeah, sure." This intelligence agent hasn't been particularly snooping, but has.
I mean, it's more keeping track of people.
Yeah.
And we're not the most subtle group.
No.
I mean, no. I mean, Chevron changes his appearance with his flesh mod thing, so, like, impressive that...
Without
Flesh
the
mod.
Yeah.
Ah.
yeah,
the
without
phrasing.
without the input of Victoria, trying to get this information on you would have been bloody difficult. This particular agent is pretty much assigned to the Sprawl, which is why they were assigned to you, because they know what you're capable of and was able to give some help.
Yeah.
There is, of course, one other option if this all falls through. How are the Valashar at inciting revolution? That would bring the top closer, I feel.
Cause some trouble and wait for the shepherd to turn up. It's inelegant, but it is an
Plans, backup
option.
plans.
As a backup, yes. As a backup, we could indeed attempt to inform the citizenry that we are going to invade, and they need to be on the right side of victory. Could do
I
that.
wasn't even thinking that far. I was thinking, well, I might be thinking slightly too long term for some of my friends here, but convincing over time to build an insurgency which needs to be crushed swiftly.
They have the citizenry up here, culturally. The citizens have a set of values that are compliant with obedience. They don't have anything to rebel against.
I'm not saying it would be easy.
No. The only thing that we could do is play on their social self-interests. Everybody is trying to cover their own arse, to use the Coruscanti. They would only really look to an inevitable loss in order to act to cover themselves. Give it some thought. For now, enjoy being amongst the Valashar. Tonight, Victoria, you should take them hunting.
Oh, that would be fun. It's been a while.
I mean,
Eat a fresh kill. It's good. Connect yourself with the land again.
Yes. We should probably say hello to my mother while we...
oh yes. Do I like her, Felicia? Is she nice?
Murder me if I don't.
Victoria's mother, is a hammer wielder. She's a builder, but also a blunt instrument warrior. Hardworking, tireless, basically a woman of aches and pains. Victoria's father died in battle very honorably about 10 years ago. So it's just the mother now.
Yes, I say I like her a lot, and she's very nice.
She's not exactly, as with all the Valashar, Victoria's mother isn't exactly a forthcoming with the affection. She shows interest, affection, and investment in her own way.
Yeah. Yes, both Nima and Victoria, they are quite, I want to say they're quite private with, like, their affection. They would refer to each other by affectionate names, but, like, actual affection is probably quite private.
Yeah.
And you can see that kind of rings true with the mother as well.
Yeah.
So next session we are going to, we'll do a small amount here, but we're then going to go into full-on hustle mode, as we're going to drop you onto a planet where the citizenry... We're turning this up. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't got that from this session, we're turning this up now. You are going to be placed in a planet where you have to suspect that every single citizen is, to the mind, not the letter, but to the mind, loyal to the government that you're trying to get into. That there are a whole seething throng of workers that take up probably around about 98% of the planet. And you're trying to crack into the 2% that do anything other than labor. Those people are in control of the whole planet, live differently to the rest of the planet, and you're trying to crack that core, that social core. Not only crack it, but get it so that you have got an edge to get the guy at the top, or at least bypass the guy at the top and find the next thing in the chain.
Find the ambitious ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
This place, when I wrote it, is effectively almost a Borg cube, except it's people, and they love it. They love it. They've been taught to love it. They're raised on it. All their heroes are like kind of Rosie the Riveter type heroes. Yeah. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter, what you look like. Everybody is considered to be part of this, part of the machine. Proud to be part of the machine, the social machine. And anybody who's outside of that is a waster. The shame is just terrible. And they're very quickly brought to heel. So there is no potential for revolution. Yeah. But as the intelligence agent said, that's the only way that you'd be able to get them to start breaking ranks is if they think that everything is going to change and that it's inevitable.
Yeah, we'd have to break societies to get them to revolution, and by that point we'll already be in a position where we can do what we need to do.
Yeah, and you'd already be super exposed even before then. So you've got to be insidious. And this will play obviously onto Grim, onto Nima, JT's calculation, because I know that Ed's mind is ticking over now with ways of how do you break a society like this.
This is weirdly close to the thing I'm going to be running for you tomorrow in a weird way.
Oh, right. I don't know anything about Dishonored, so for Hermit, Vic, if you're still there, and Snipe, I'm playing Guild Game tomorrow, offline. One of the days I get to be a player. Yay! Although I got spoiled last week and I was a player a lot. I'm going to be playing the Dishonored role-playing game with Corinne, and Ed's DMing. Problem is, I've never played the computer game. I know nothing about the setting. I need to cram read tomorrow.
I know mostly nothing as well.
I played both games.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Rodrigo. It just never happened when we went to run it.
And this is specifically Abingdon Guild, which is Abingdon.
Although it's becoming more online
at the moment, yes. Because COVID.
So this society is part of the challenge. So if you haven't got that already, the challenge of the next step is getting through the door. You can go to the planet that you know is close to them. There's no kind of thing of going, oh, which planet is he on, and going to that planet. You guys have actually got to get the footprints in the first place, and they are held under lock and key. So how you do it, it's up to you. We'll take you to the planet. You have already given your concerns, Ed, with regard to a clear record, which is what I considered what you were doing. You've asked for the Valashar to effectively cover your tracks so that if they start checking on you, they don't see anything that will spook them.
We're also going to see if Matar can help us make some more tracks.
Yeah,
may not be legitimate tracks, but the right tracks.
Yeah,
yes,
the right tracks. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's why I wasn't going to push it that much further. I wanted the conversation, but I wasn't going to push it that far because I was just like, "You're cool. You've got Matar, you've got Polota, you've got the Valashar intelligence agent, you've got the Nala, if you wish."
Yep, we've got Chakpol Bess as well.
Oh god, yeah, Chakpol Bess as well. So you've got a kind of self-made mogul.
We can put some references on our CV.
Yes. If you turn around to Chakpol Bess and said, "Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you fake like 30 years worth of trading with you?" He'd be like, "Yeah, sure," kind of thing.
Why not?
Paperwork exercise, do that all the time, no problem, kind of thing. He'd retroactively make you an account and everything, and so yeah, there's lots of allies that you've built up along the way. So you've already done a lot of the work. All you have to do is call on your assets now. So
yeah,
that's kind of cool.
And this is why I take notes.
Yes, we're very grateful for your note taking.
Player document being how many pages now? 28 pages long at the moment. So yeah.
Yes.
Start calling them in your favors, Ed, because this is why they're here. This is why they exist. Okay.
Oh,
So-
3 minutes.
It is 11 o'clock now. Oh, just about to be.
Yeah.
So we're going to leave that there. Big thank you, Hermit and Vic, if you're still around. Snipe, if you're still around. Six, if you're still around. We are going to do, let's see, how many viewers have we got? We've got 5
5.
viewers.
Yeah.
And I'm just checking to see.
Cake's not on.
We got mostly Six and Hermit. So Kate's not on. So we're going to forego the raid today. Because I don't have anybody other than Kate that would be kind of like, hey guys. So we're going to end that today. Our next game is Friday. That's our long-running game, The Benefactor, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. UK time, where we will be continuing with some of, well, first of all, the conversation with Renata Green, revealing a little bit more about the core story, and then after that, we're going to go after the Heart of Duradam. As we're going to go to the Mausoleum, isn't it, Corinne?
Yep.
Yeah, the mouse.
Yes.
The mausoleum.
Bit of an in joke. First time she wrote down mausoleum, she said mausoleum. So it's the
I spelled it mouse.
It's officially
And
the
considering
mausoleum.
it's a tabaxi building, obviously it is a collection of all the mice they have killed.
Yes,
God.
it's just like collecting all the presents.
It's the bed that's in the corner, right under the corner, isn't it? That just starts to smell after a while. Anyway, that's when we're going to be in next. Thank you very much for joining us today. This was a bit of a bit of an exposition episode. I promise to endanger the lives of your characters in the next session, probably by a word being out of place. So that's my only hint for next session, and that is watch what you say.
Talk well.
Talk well. Okay.
Talk well.
I
Use words
shall
well.
not
I am
say.
not gonna use words next session.
Yes.
Just so you know, I am the intimidating bodyguard.
Yes, she's just going to grunt and flex. That's her 2 modes, is grunt and flex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Which is also the name of her workout video. But anyway,
Yeah, grunt and flex.
yeah.
But,
I mean,
I thought something really
That
bad. but I shouldn't
workout
say that.
video is basically bench pressing her sword with
Oh,
both
Hermit's here as
Nima
well.
and Chevron sitting on it.
I could not see Hermit in the... Oh, right, you've popped back up on the users and chat thing. Yes, we're going to leave that tonight. Thank you for bearing with us. I was a little bit frazzled today as well, so managed to bully through it. But we will see you on Friday. Until then, don't be a stranger. Get on the Discord, give us a shout, and we will see you later. Good night.
Yes. Good night, guys.